In today's video, I'll be giving my thoughts on where I feel the Mortal Kombat characters in 2024 are ranked. Hey, what's good, chat? Today, we're going to be doing a Mortal Kombat tier list. Shout out to the friends from YouTube. Shout out to the friends from Twitch. You guys all make this possible. Thank you guys for the love and support. We're going to base this tier list in general on not only how the characters' versatility, like, versus everybody else, but their synergy with the cameos, because this is a cameo-based economy. So I feel like you can kind of tell which characters are just designed so strong based on their synergy with the majority of the cameos. It just makes sense. And I feel, personally, fighting against these characters, the ones that I'm about to name first that are tied for #1, just give me the hardest time as far as them being able to, no matter which matchup they play against, pick a cameo and really still bring the game so strong. And I just feel like the best character right now that I've been fighting against, top 3 in my opinion, the Blind Swordsman, Kenshi, is ridiculous. It's been really rough to fight against him, yo. He pairs up with cameos so well. He can use Sub-Zero cameo to negate zoning. He can use Cyrax cameo to get his Sento out right away. A lot of his cameos just come together for him super well. Johnny Cage, and he's in the same type boat. And when we're tied for #1, we're gonna put no specific order. In Johnny Cage, the same thing. You can pair him with Sub-Zero. Oops, let me put this down. You can pair him with Sub-Zero. You can pair him with hell of the other cameos. You can pair him with Kung Lao. You see Stryker going well with him, etc. And it just it makes perfect sense. He's just one of the characters that flows so well. And there's a few of them that I feel like are tied for the #1 spot. Ashra, it's almost undeniable when fighting against her how strong she is, yo. The character is actually ridiculous. And I think without a doubt, and you see her played with so much. You can see her play with Kung Lao. You see her played with Stryker paired super well, with Goro. And we did a cameo tier list. You guys can also check that out. It's in the, I'll put it right here in the description. But these 3 characters, undeniably, they're taking the tied for #1 spot. And there's also a couple more. I think Smoke, you cannot see his mix-up, yo. It's impossible to block him. Like, he is going to mix you. Sorry, all my cat. I think he's tied for the #1 spot as well. Smoke, Liu Kang, these characters, yo. All these characters that I've seen tied for #1. It don't matter who you pair them with. Their synergy is just so great, and these characters are ridiculous. Their coverage is ridiculous. They can use it's just almost like these are the tournament winners, really, in my opinion, that are going to be able to match up with majority of the cast well. And it just makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and put Tanya up here. You can't check her in space. Everything Tanya does on block, you can't really get your turn back from her. She has super good range. Layla, shh. Raiden as well. The synergy with these characters, handshake and a GG's. Tanya Goro is ridiculous. Raiden paired with so much. You've seen Cyrax doing his thing in the beginning, etc. And I'm going to go ahead and put Baraka up there. These characters that are naming, I feel like versus the majority of the cast, it's just going to be, it's almost going to be impossible to suppress them. They're going to have a game plan. Baraka, he's playing a different type of meta. His poke in a special game is a game changer. And same thing with Raiden. Same thing with Tanya. That's what's making those characters go up there. The poke in a special mind game is actually ridiculous. And these are all tied for the #1 spot, in my opinion. And besides these characters, Geras, he's there's no way he's not in that spot. Just on this game is a cameo-based, resource-based economy. The cameo regenerates. Your bar, it'll build on block, whether you're doing special moves, what you're doing on block, etc. Geras, he has to build his time things. He has to have 3 of them loaded, right? In order for him to do the rewind. He can waste 1 bar and break your combo for a bar. That's undeniable. I think Sindel, and also because the same thing that you've seen from Johnny Cage, Raiden, Ashra, Smoke, the way they pair with these cameos, it doesn't matter who you pair them with. If they're going against the zoner, they're going to be playing Sub-Zero. If they're trying to rush you down and you don't have a way to really stop them in neutral, they'll go Kung Lao. If you're the type that they have to walk down patiently, they'll go Stryker. And it's fucking strong, yo. And I think those characters right there, safe to say, are just they're kind of running the world as far as who you pair them with, and when you pair them up versus these other characters. These other characters are so strong as well. And I feel like no matter who you pick in this game, you can pair them with somebody, and you can find. This is what's beautiful about this game. The playstyles, it doesn't limit you to how the character, how they design them, just base character. Now you get the option to be able to express yourself in your own light. Like if you want to use your cameo for in neutral or to in the spacing game to stop your opponent from approaching or to zone them out, you can. If you want to use it when you get in on block, you can. If you want to use it when you knock them down to set a combo up. So it's really how you're gonna approach your game plan in the game, which is so beautiful. Right behind these characters, we're gonna put Li Mei, we're gonna put Kung Lao, we're gonna put Katana off rip, Reiko off rip. These characters right here, ridiculous. Li Mei, the damage, come on, y'all. 50% touch. She also works good with Kung Lao. She works good with Scorpion. Like, she could almost be tied for the number one spot. I mean, tied for number one as well. She just playing the game so ridiculous. Kung Lao, armor, save versus majority of the cast. If you don't have a 6-frame Punisher, you're doomed. Katana, her spacing game. Same thing with Reiko, this projectile game. Especially how you pair them. You could be a Rushdown Katana with Jax. You could be a zoning Katana with Kung Lao. With Striker, you could play a super strong space game and have a 50-50. Reiko, same thing. Coverage everywhere. Goes with some good-ass cameos. His command grab with Tremor, with... what was the other one they were doing it with? The original one? Oh, Darius. Like, even giving characters a light that don't even necessarily are not too versatile with the rest of the cast cameo-wise. Shao Kahn, ridiculous. Melina, ridiculous. Scorpion, ridiculous. Havoc on some dumb shit. And to be honest, I think as far as godlike tier, I think we might have to limit it to them, you guys. Sub-Zero is still so good, but he's the only one that's on the verge. He's still the only one that's on the verge for me. I think I'm going to put him in godlike tier, and I think I'm going to have to put Omni-Man, because these are the characters that force you into situations too, man. And that's the reason why I'm putting these characters versus putting this last row in godlike, is because I feel like these characters, it's almost like you're going to be forced to into a situation, except Scorpion and Melina, but these two defy neutral. Like, nobody really has a launching teleport that's gonna get them something. That's why these two characters are kind of an anomaly here. But Havoc force you into situations. Sub-Zero, you're gonna have to block. Omni-Man paired with Kung Lao, come on. Shao Kahn 50-50, same thing with Reiko. Katana has her set up. Kung Lao with his armor, like this poke armor, this poke mind game, it's almost like he can be up here with Geras and Baraka. Yeah, Sub-Zero with this 50-50. Let's talk about Quan Chi. I think Quan Chi, it's still so early that we might have to add another slot for him. But looking at what he has right now, I think he's gonna have to be super fleshed out. It's not gonna be surface level at all. Like with him being having slow pokes, you're gonna have to really learn the matchups, yo. You're gonna have to really learn the matchups and what you can get out of, when you can poke, when you can backdash and get space. It's going to be tough. But you can do it. Same thing with Reptile. Because he doesn't have just the great, like, his little low move, it's not just something you can just shove in these folks' face because they can possibly jump it. Or they can get space. It's not like a, say, like a Katana back 2 mid, you know? Reptile, these characters have to work, but they're still good. And paired with the cameos, you see they can do work. Rain, to be honest, Rain might be, I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell with Rain. It's like he could be so top tier paired with the right cameo, but he lost a lot of his synergy with Cyrax. He still has some good. He has some good work, but I don't know, y'all. Rain is a tough one because with that sort of movement, I don't know. There's no way to be bad, but that's why they're still good. They're still good, but I just don't think that they're shoving the game plan in your face like everybody else. Maybe we'll put this as question mark tier. Nah. Maybe we'll leave it at still good. Shang, it's tough to tell. And these are because you have to be, let's call this character specialist. Specialist here. Yeah, I think that's what we'll call it. Because these characters, it's not like they're bad at all in any sort of light, but I just feel like you're gonna have to really go in and really dive deep, and that's where we started off talking about Quan. You know, it's like he can low-key win a tournament. I think just same thing with Rain. You just saw him win with when Sonic won with them. But I feel like you're gonna have to really dive deep with these characters, man. This bottom row is not just like you're not just gonna pick up like how you would Kenshi and just go out there and start mixing no matter which matchup. These folks are gonna have to learn. You know what I mean? And not to say every character's not like that, because to each their own, and it's a journey, you know. But yeah, as far as them even synergizing with all the other cameos so well, Shang might be the only anomaly here. But yeah, we don't know too much about Quan. We saw Rain kind of get stripped of the whole Cyrax thing. I feel like other characters are just doing what Reptile's doing, just a little better. And then Natara, like that's a, yeah, this is definitely specialist here. I like how we worded that. Yeah, I like how we worded that. No, Reptile's still good, and all these characters are still good. And Chad, don't get discouraged if your character's not in the tied for #1 spot, because it really is just how you're putting these characters together and the game plan you bring. Like you can come out with some tech and pair them with one of these characters that are in the specialist tier or even godlike tier, and they could be the best character in the game tomorrow. So yeah, keep up the great work, and thank you guys for tuning into the tier list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Maybe we'll even do another one after the Chameleon patch drops. But yeah, cheers, y'all. This will post this on Twitter, and I'll have my cameo tier list in the description if you guys want to check that out. Cheers. Let's go.